We don't celebrate our heroes enough in this country. So many of our heroes, we chastise them. We bring them down. It's jealousy, it's hatred. Umona. Heroes that we don't acknowledge. Greats. After Nelson Mandela, we always go, nobody else can live up to that. Yeah, but there's small levels of greatness. You don't even have to look far. For instance, our great sign language interpreter. Thamsanqa Yankees. The man who made it all happen. Huh? He was there at Nelson Mandela's memorial service. A service that the whole world was watching. And because of that, the service was translated to everyone all over the world. Translated into all languages, including sign language. And so Yankees was there translating for those who didn't understand. Unfortunately, he also didn't understand sign language. Which is a small problem. A problem that he didn't let stop him, people. Where others see obstacles, he saw an opportunity. People go, he's a con man. He's a bloody, how could he do something so deceitful? Yeah, you gotta go, how could he do something so deceitful? That man, Yankees, showed something so powerful. He's a role model to the children. Because he showed that you shouldn't listen to what people say you can or cannot do. If you believe in yourself and you work hard enough, anything is possible. People told him his whole life, they're like, Yankees, you can't do sign language. He was like, we'll see about that. Bitches. And he did it. He did sign language for the most powerful people in the world. Every single one of them, Yankees, was on that stage doing it and doing it well. Nobody even suspected him. Nobody. People were just like, he's doing his thing. People ask questions. Where did he come from? Did he sneak? He didn't sneak in. He'd been the official sign language interpreter for the government for the last 5 years. Yeah, official for the last 5 years. And apparently before this, people have complained. But obviously the complaints fell on deaf ears, so nothing was done about it. And so he just carried on. And now he was here. The biggest event of his life. Signing for the world. Signing. Just making it up. In the zone. Nobody suspected. I suspected. I suspected though. I did. No, I did. Let me tell you why. No. Let me tell you why. Not because I know sign language, but because I know my president. And if there's one thing that's specific, is when Jacob Zuma reads a speech, right? Jacob Zuma reads a speech. He's a very deliberate man. He's very calm. He's very measured. Takes his time. The rhythm is the most important thing. And Yankees didn't match his rhythm. I knew there was something wrong. You remember this. Zuma was there reading Mandela's Wikipedia page, right? And while he was reading, Yankees was doing totally different, like the rhythm was wrong. Zuma was there like, and thereafter, Nelson Mandela went to Robben Island for his imprisonment. Term and to fight for the rhythm didn't match, right? Zuma was on page 1, that guy was on like page 17 or something. It didn't match up at all. It's almost like Zuma was translating sign language for us. That's how slow it looked. Sorry, I haven't practiced, guys. It didn't match up. None of it. But Yankees did it. He stayed there in the face of adversity and he fought. Yeah. He did sign language for everyone. We've got to ask ourselves questions as well as South Africans. We don't ask enough questions. For instance, did nobody think to ask him how he could speak every single language in the world? Every leader came from countries everywhere. They spoke in their language. Yankees translated for everyone. Did nobody stop to ask, Even for a second, the president of Brazil is standing up there. Nelson Mandela está no pai. Nós de você, de casa, do gosto muito, pelado que estava pesado. Nós do Yankees was there. Did no one say, hey Yankees, you can speak Portuguese? I'm in the zone, Baba, I'm in the zone. I'm in the zone. Did nobody think to ask? He did sign language for everyone. The ambassador of China was up there. 가도시, 전도이 넬슨 만델라. 다도 입시fu, 다도 신주의 공부로 빠도시. Yankees was there on the side. He just made it up. He made everything up. And he did a great job at it. He did a great job. But then, like a true South African, he just took it too far. Enough wasn't enough. That's our problem in South Africa. That's all it is. We don't know when to stop. We take it too far. The same thing happens with tenders, all of these things. Guys are stealing houses and everything. I go, guys, I understand you want to steal. I understand that. I understand. But if you get a tender to build 10 houses, steal one, build 9. At least 9 people have houses. Don't steal all the houses. Somebody's going to notice. And then you can't steal more houses. But no, we want it all in South Africa. We take it one step too far. That's what Yankees did. He had done it for everyone. He'd done a great job. The best fake sign language the world had ever seen. He had gotten away with it too, until Barack Obama came up to speak. This was a speech that was going to be performed by the most powerful man in the free world. 90 million people watching that speech. This, my friends, is the point where you pack up your little bag of tricks and you call it a day. Not Yankees. If I was Yankees, that's where I would have called it quits. I say, hey, Yankees, next one. Who is it? Barack Obama. The whole world is watching this one. I know. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Sorry. Hey, my fingers are crimping. I've lost my voice. Sorry. Oh, no, not Yankees. They're like, Barack. He's like, I'm there. And he was. Doing sign language for Barack Obama. And they found out that while he was doing the sign language, he kept on using the same signs over and over again, right? The few real signs that he actually knew. And apparently all he knew was 4 things that he kept on doing repeatedly. And those things, they asked afterwards, real sign language interpreters, they found that he was doing this, right? Which means greetings, yeah? Greetings, he kept on doing that. Another one he loved doing was circle, yeah? Yeah, circle. One of his favorites was smoking, yeah? And every now and again he'd go, get a little bit of that. That's all he did, over and over again. Can you imagine that? Nelson Mandela's memorial, Barack Obama pouring his heart out. There he is, Barack Hussein Obama and Yankees. As Americans, Nelson Mandela is a man that showed that through peace, you could free not only the prisoner, but also the guard. Nelson Mandela is a man, he's beyond a man, he's a legacy. A legacy I could never aspire to be, but we can all look towards. And for me, Nelson Mandela showed that sometimes in life, you gotta go the hard way. You gotta say the things that matter. And always remember to do what counts. I could never be Nelson Mandela. Can you imagine how horrible it must have been for every single deaf person watching that speech? Imagine what it must have been like as a deaf person watching that at home, sitting there. That must have been the craziest thing they've ever seen in their lives. Deaf people just watching going, hello. Hello. What? Why is he talking about smoking? Why is he talking about smoking? Talk about Nelson Mandela.
I'm talking about, talk about Nelson Mandela. What's wrong? Why are you talking about, what? Hello? Why did he? This is the worst speech ever. There's something wrong with this guy. Barack has a smoking problem. What the hell? Talk about Mandela. This guy, what's wrong with him? This is the worst speech. I can't listen anymore. This is horrible. This is horrible. Tell me when it's finished. I can't do this, man.
That speech must have been ridiculous. By the way, that's only the second time I've ever told a joke about deaf people, ever. Only the second time. Told one joke when I was starting out in comedy and then I stopped because I believed you shouldn't make jokes about disabled people. It's the wrong thing to do. It's wrong, you know. And I never did it again until one day my life changed. I got asked to do a show in Sun City. I was asked to do a show. Sasol was organizing a going away party for the South African Paralympic team when they were going out to London. And so they invited me. They said, Trevor, we'd like you to come and do a show to perform for Ama Kroko Kroko. We'd like... Oh, you forgot. You forgot that that's the name we gave our Paralympic team. Not a nickname. That was our official name. We had Ama Pogo Pogo, Bafana Bafana, and Ama Kroko Kroko. We called our Paralympic athletes Ama Kroko Kroko, which means the broken things. A bunch of crocs. That is the worst thing you can call a disabled person ever. Ama Kroko Kroko. That is what we call. You got Ama Kroko. That's probably what Reva said to Oscar that night. That's the only thing I can think of. Don't you call Ama Kroko Kroko? Ah! Ama. So anyway, I was doing a show for Ama Kroko Kroko, right? And because I'm there, I did no jokes about disabled people or anything that could be seen as offensive. I did nothing like that. And after the show, I was meeting some of the guys. Everything went well. And one of the athletes came up to me, and I'll never forget this till the day I die. He came up to me, and he was partially deaf. And he introduced himself, and he was a fan, a great fan. And he was like, hey, Trevor, hey, man, how are you? I said, hey, how you doing, buddy? How are you? Good to meet you. Good. He said, yeah, man, great to meet you. Great to meet you. I'm a big fan. I said, oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. He said, yeah, dude, I love your stuff. You know what? You should have subtitles because, you know, sometimes I don't get it because I'm partially deaf. I was like, oh, I didn't even notice. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I didn't even know. I just thought you had an accent. That's cool, man. That's nice to meet you. He said, yeah, that's cool, man. I didn't have a question if you don't mind. I said, yeah, go ahead. He said, how come you never tell jokes about deaf people? So I'm sorry, what? I don't tell jokes about deaf people. He said, yeah, how come you never tell jokes about deaf people? I said, what do you mean? He said, well, you tell jokes about everyone. Tall people, short people, black, white, everyone. But I've never heard you tell a joke about deaf people. Why? So you've never heard me tell a joke about deaf people? Yeah. No, man, not like that, you stupid. No, man, you're an idiot. I said, no, dude, I don't know. I don't make jokes about deaf people. He said, yeah, why not? I was like, because I shouldn't make jokes about deaf people because if I did that, then deaf people would be hurt and they would be offended. Why would we be hurt? It's not like we don't know we're deaf. So I thought I was protecting you. Protecting us from what? From laughing. We also want jokes. We're deaf. Yeah, we know we're different, but we still want the same things. I was like, yeah, but you know what's funny is you say I must make jokes, right? But even if you're cool with it, you know who will complain? People who can hear. Yeah, they'll complain on your behalf because that's what people do. They get offended for other people. They'll be the ones going, oh, Trevor Noah's an asshole. He made jokes about deaf people. Like, so? Why do you care? I said, because it hurts. It hurts. He's like, dude, you're a comedian. Suck it up. It's easy for you. No, dude, just make the joke. If the jokes are funny, people will laugh and then we move on. I was like, yeah, you know what? You say that. But then what do I do if they complain? He's like, dude, if they complain, then complain. Okay? You know what? Go do the joke. Go do the joke. And then, if they complain, you must do what I do. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, just don't listen.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to my channel so you can win cool prizes. And by prizes, I mean surprise. There's no prizes. It's a free YouTube video, you greedy. Just click the video, man. Why you want free things on free things?
And so the best and worst experience I had learning American happened to me when I first moved to the US. I lived in California, in Pasadena, when I first came to the United States, right? And the reason I lived in Pasadena is because that's where I knew my first American friend, a guy by the name of David Maya. He came to South Africa to film a documentary. We became the best of friends. And one day we were hanging out in Dave's apartment. And Dave's chilling on his beanbag. And he looks over at me and he's like, Trevor, dude, I don't know about you right now, but I'm starving. I said, I think you mean you're hungry, Dave. I said, what? I said, doesn't matter. What do you want to eat? So you know what I'm craving right now, man? I'm craving tacos. I was like, oh, that sounds like fun. Let's do it, man. Let's go to tacos. What? Isn't that the restaurant you're craving? Tacos? Are you being serious right now? You've never had tacos? I said, no, I don't know what tacos is. You've never had tacos? My answer hasn't changed from now, Dave. No. I've never had tacos. You've never had tacos? And by the way, I hate it when people do that. You know when people ask you the same question over and over again because they can't believe you haven't had the exact same life experience? You know that thing people do? Like with everything, they're like, oh my God, have you heard the new Beyonce? No, I have. You haven't heard the new Beyonce? No, I have. You haven't heard the new Beyonce? Oh no, now I have. No, I'd never had tacos, right? I'd never had tacos because in South Africa, we don't really have Mexican food, okay? We don't have Mexican food because we don't have Mexicans. They never came over. It's not my fault. Dave was personally offended. I'll never forget, he jumped up and he was like, dude, I cannot believe you've been in America all this time and you've never had tacos? I said, Dave, why is it such a big deal? He's like, because, Trevor, nothing says America like tacos. I said, really? Nothing says America like Mexican food? And you know what's funny is I feel like in that moment, I feel like Dave was being profound. He didn't even realize it, but that was a profound little nugget that he had just espoused. Nothing says America like tacos. I've had the privilege of traveling everywhere in this beautiful country. I've been to places like Erie, Pennsylvania, El Paso, Texas, Honolulu, Hawaii, you know. I've been everywhere, and one thing I've learned across the board in America is that Americans love tacos. Everywhere you go, Americans love tacos. Love tacos. Even people you wouldn't expect. I was watching the news one day, and there was a guy at a rally, right? And they were asking him about immigration and families being separated, etc. And this guy, like, regardless of his politics, like, he was being really mean and xenophobic and racist, you know, just acting real presidential. And the journalist asked him about children, and he just went straight, and he was like, boy, I'll tell you what, I don't give a damn about any of these goddamn Mexicans, you heard? They came over here, they ain't supposed to be here, boy. Woo! It's our country now, you heard? That's right, boy, go back to where you came from. Woo! These Mexicans ain't done nothing good, they ain't brought nothing good to America, we don't need y'all. Come on, Bubba, it's Taco Tuesdays. Get out of here, but leave the recipes. I feel like there should be a rule in America. They should say, you can hate immigrants all you want, but if you do, you don't get to eat their food. Yeah? That's a fair exchange for me. You hate immigrants, no immigrant food. And when I say no immigrant food, I mean no immigrant food, nothing. No Mexican food, no Caribbean food, no Dominican food, no Asian food, nothing. Only potatoes. And I'm not even saying like flavored potatoes, I'm just saying plain potatoes. No spice. Because no immigrants, no spice. Don't ever forget that. Both figuratively and literally, no spice. And I know some people would take that, I know. I know there's some people right now who'd be like, well, you know what, Trevor, take your immigrants, take your spice, and get the hell out of here. You say that now. Because you've never lived a life without spice. But don't ever forget, a life without spice was so hard that it made white people sail around the world to find it. And like, this wasn't regular sailing. This wasn't like a Disney cruise. These people sailed at a time when they believed if you went that way, you would fall off the edge of the earth and die. And still, some man out there was eating some white lady's cooking, and he was like, I can't do this shit anymore. I'm sailing that way. But what if you die? At least it's exciting.
There's one other thing that I thought was just incredibly, not just interesting and fun, but really inspiring, and that was where we just came from. Meeting these young women who have entered the cybersecurity field. And you know, it's remarkable because it doesn't matter where you are in the world, there's just this extraordinary shortage of women entering cybersecurity.
Yes.
And I was so struck by their comments, and one in particular, the woman who talked about coming from a humble background, and suddenly she finds herself with this opportunity to have such an impact. And I guess that to me is something of the dream that has been possible for so many people who've entered technology. And to meet people here in the next generation, really breaking their own new ceiling, if you will. I always enjoy that part of a trip.
It's probably been one of my favorites, to be honest, is seeing not just a new generation, but a different generation. You know, for so long, and you alluded to this, you know, the world was defined because of where it was. And I mean, that's history, that's time. But as you said, what India has done and how it's grown during the pandemic, you can see not just in the country, not just in some of these companies we speak to, not just in some of the, you know, the tech entrepreneurs that we meet, but you see it in a program like Cyber Siksha, where you have these young women who are essentially at the forefront of building up, you know, a cybersecurity army, and they're going to be the ones who, in many ways, build up what will become an industry that is, you know, going to be fundamental because of how much the industry is going to grow. And I think what's particularly interesting about it is where they come from in their lives, in the country, you know, coming from smaller regions in India, coming from smaller cities, coming from smaller families, and understanding that this will now be the path that leads them, you know, and the rest of the people in their lives to a better world. And at the same time, what they're doing is protecting everybody in the world, you know, with their data, their information, their money, their livelihood. And I loved seeing the, you know, in many ways, the natural cohesion between those stories. I think that's the most inspiring thing I've seen about India is it is a country where, despite where it is, it does not seem to be limited in the idea of what it could be. And so maybe that's been the most exciting part of this journey, you know, even where we are right now. You know, you're in a country where, you know, everyone would think, you know, nothing is possible because of all the limitations, because of where it's been, the poverty or the, you know, the gap of rich to poor, etc. And yet, you know, the space program is one of the most advanced in the world. You know, they've figured out ways to launch rockets at a fraction of the price. They've figured out ways to continue growing a country that's the size of Europe. You know, we've learned so many things on this trip, and I think that's probably been the most inspiring part of coming to India, is understanding why it is what it is, understanding that fundamentally it's just the people who navigate through the traffic in, you know, everything from a bus all the way to a rickshaw, and still find a way to get where they're going.
I think that's right. And speaking of getting somewhere, I know when people have asked us on this trip, what were we looking forward to in coming to India? Both you and I had a similar reaction. The food. It's time for dinner. Should we go?
I feel like we just had lunch, and I feel like we just had a snack, and I feel like we just...
It was apartheid, but my parents didn't care. They were renegades, mavericks. My mom was a true maverick. She was like, ooh, I'm going to get a white man. Shoo. And then my dad was obviously, you know, well, you know how the Swiss love chocolate. So, you know, they got together, they did the deed. My mom gave birth to me, but then I couldn't live with the family as a parental unit together. Had to go back to the townships with my mom. She couldn't say that the father of her child was in fact a white man, because obviously, you know, in the townships there were the bimpies, the snitches. Hated them. So, you know, so she had to lie on my birth certificate. She just didn't put her father, you know, which wasn't strange. It wasn't strange. She just didn't have a father. You know? Like, I mean, it's not like I was the only black kid in the township going, I don't know who he is. You know? It wasn't strange at all. But she didn't say anything to anybody. So everybody just drew their own conclusions, you know, everyone in the townships, which is not such a great idea, because when people's imaginations are let loose, you'll be surprised at what they come up with. Because people did not put one and one together with me. In fact, when I came home, people in the township, in fact, assumed that I was an albino. Oh, you laugh, but it wasn't funny. I was even told when my mom brought me home, at least my family loved me, you know, walked me into the house, there I was, little baby wrapped in a blanket. My grandmother came and she was, "Ow, you shame. Ow. Ooh, you little Alpi. No, faghi umbrella, cosa c'è? Faghi umbrella. Faghi umbrella. Yeah, ne? But my family treated me very normal, they really did. It was the people around me that were different. In Orlando East, you know, there was this whole mystic vibe to me all of a sudden. People started speaking. Most people got over it. People that were really interested in me, though, were the other albinos. Yeah, because they keep like a log of everyone that comes in. Boss, 2 more. Okay. Because generally in the township, there's only like 1 albino for every phase, you know? Oh, lo, I say phase 2. Yeah, ngamaz. Ticks them off on the list. So when I came into the picture, they're like, "Oh, boss, there's another one." Everything was cool. Till I started getting older. And they started noticing a few differences, you know? Especially when my hair grew black. And there was a furore. Everyone was just like, "Oh, boss, have you seen him?" People were like, "No, it's not possible." Started following me around. When my mom would walk with me to the taxi rank, they would be there creeping behind us. Check, 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 check. I'd always turn around, they'd act natural. Well, as natural as you can act, 4 albinos standing together. They had their meetings, you know, there they were, their groups, and they were talking about it. No, before anything else, gents, have you heard? Have you heard? There's one of us, but he's different. What do you mean? He's different. He's got a skin light, just like us, but his head grows black. And he has no problems with the sun. He can walk anytime he pleases. Anytime. He's the one. The day walker. And the guys were obviously there. You're lying, there's no such thing. I'm telling you, I'd never lie. And then one day when I was old enough, they approached me. They came up to me, you know. As I was walking for my first time, I was off to the bottle store for my uncle, you know. As you get old enough to walk, that's when your uncle sends you. Everyone else in the family is happy. He's walking. Uncle is like, yeah, send you to my man. Hamba, ke. Tenga makot I4. Tata nama empty. Amanin. And I was there walking to the shops with the bottles, and I was carrying them, you know. And then I traded in one of the bottles, got myself an ice, and I had the ice, and the bottles. And these guys came out, and they're like, "Show 'em, Fana. Hey guys, we couldn't help noticing a man of your stature." Thank you. You know, we've had our eye on you for quite a while, young one. And we see potential in your eyes. Who's we? Oh, forgive me. Let me introduce myself. My name is Pacino, and we are the Glow-in-the-Darks. And I'm gonna tell you now, boy, I see a bright future in you. We were wondering if you would be interested in joining our small little conglomerate. You know, we just got together and exchange ideas. It really is a melting pot of ideas and exchanges, really. That's why we call it an idea exchange. The pot, we don't know where that came from. But we use it nonetheless. So what do you say? You want to be friends? That's what we say, yes. I want to be friends. Great! That's wonderful news. You hear that, boys? He's going to be one of us. I can see it now, young one, in a few years' time, moving up the ranks within our organization until ending up at the upper echelon of management. Well, count me in. And I joined the crew, and I was one of them. Had my sporty, my not guilty outfit. We used to walk around together. It was cool. The only thing that bugged me was the hours. They always like rolled in, it was just like weird hours, you know. Always had to meet before dawn, you know. Never hung out at midday. Ooh, no. No, you know, hang out at dusk. Sun's going down. There they are outside the house. You know, oh, that's me. And I'd come outside, and then we'd go hang out under the big willow tree. It was cool. If we were hanging out in the day, that's the best place to be because there's so much shade, and we chill there. And I mean, I changed a lot of things for the guys because they used to play cricket a lot. Cricket was a great sport, you know. Only problem is if somebody hit a 4 or 6 and the game was over, just who's gonna fetch it now? Yabon, Kawatil, Papa, Nkilile, block. Then I was that guy, was running, getting the ball, yeah. That guy, you know, having a good time. Did all the things that you could do, where you didn't look strange, you know, if you were like wearing a hat. So we played all those kinds of games. One of our favorites was Cowboys and Robbers. Ooh, that was great. Who were those guys? Yeah. Wandering around, you know, playing the games. I was always the steering. Which was the starring, in case you're wondering. So I was the steering there. I'd always play Clint Eastwood. My favorite line of dialogue. Choo-wee-wee-oo. Wamp, wamp, wamp. Choo-wee-wee-oo. Wamp, wamp, wamp. Even had the accents going. Didn't know what I was saying, though. How you ain't showing on going on, man? And I couldn't help noticing, you know, standing in my town. Town ain't big enough on a boat nose. And it was so cool because half of our friends were Xhosa, you know, so they made great sound effects, especially for the horses. Were like... Unfortunately, their gift was a curse because they'd always mess up the dialogue. We'd have cool scenes with the gun battle, standing there, wee wee woo, wamp wamp wamp. And like Snowflake, he was the smallest. He'd always play the tumbleweed. Oh, yeah, shy, I'm bad. Wee wee woo. And I'd shoot Pacino. Skin on shit, my man, shit, man. Shmang. I'd be like, oh man, I didn't want to have to do this to you, brother. What do I tell your mother? Be like, oh, tell my mother, my mother's. Oh, man. That was so much fun. And then I'll never forget the year that it came, 1990, the end of apartheid. F.W. de Klerk came out and he was like, no more. Very bad, sorry. See you on Tuesday. Everyone in the streets lost their minds. People were cheering, yeah! My family was no different. They had a huge party for me. My mom put up a banner in our small little kitchen there. Now Trevor's coming out party. Everyone was having great. There was cake, there was juice for all. My uncle came in, drunk out of his mind. Just refused to wear a shirt, walking in topless. There he was. What's happening here? Hey, what's happening? I was like, Uncle Velile, it's my coming out party. And he was like, yeah? You were gay? I said, no, Malume, I was an albino. And he's like, you a gay albino? Yo, you strong, huh? no, I'm colored now. I wasn't, leave it. We had the cake and we had a good time together. And then after that, I couldn't wait to get to my friends to tell them the good news. And I was like, bye-bye, mama, bye-bye, gogo. And I took everything and I ran out the house and I was skipping, yeah. And as I walked out the gate, my family walked out behind me and they were singing behind me. Twang, 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 libo, libo, nen. Wana utwana lili kalati. Shine, shine. And I skipped down the road there. I was so happy, smiling at everyone. Yeah, yeah, kalat, yeah, kalat, yeah. I was that kid running down the street, you know, so cool. Ran there, my friends were under the willow tree as always, chilling around, just standing with the cricket bat. Pacino was. Yeah, the ball was there on the side of the road. I was watching it, hungry eyes. I ran there, I was like, hey, gents, God, DW. Yeah, I'll land the ball, and I took the ball, and I came running with it. Yeah, and I was like, guys, I've got good news. And they were like, what is it? And I realized I wasn't an albino anymore. So I couldn't be part of you, know? What is it, DW? What's eating you up? I was like, oh, wow. I've got bad news, guys. Bad news, what happened? It's like, it's really bad. Snowflake was like, yo, klopalua ming. Like, no, it's worse than that. But Chino was like, yo, Nivea is out of stock again. Damn it. It's like, no, guys, no. No, it's nothing to do with that. It's nothing to do with that, guys. It's just, I don't know how to tell you this, but I'm not an albino. What did you say? I'm not an albino. They're like, we knew it. We knew it. I was like, you knew? Of course we knew. We knew, DW, we knew. We're all not albinos. We're people. Viva DW, viva! Hey, 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 hey.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to my channel so you can win cool prizes. And by prizes, I mean surprise. There's no prizes. It's a free YouTube video, you greedy. Just click the video, man. Why you want free things on free things?
Yeah. I love tacos. I love Mexican food. I love Mexican people. I don't even know what it is. I think it's just people, we have a connection, you know? I don't know, South Africans and Mexicans or something. People from shithole countries, we have this thing. I still can't believe the things Donald Trump says. He's such a... For me, Donald Trump is an emotional paradox, I'm not gonna lie. You know, logically, I can process him. Emotionally, I struggle. On the one hand, I will admit, I wake up many days terrified at the notion that he's president of the most powerful nation in the world. But I also must admit, I wake up many days knowing he's gonna make me laugh. Yeah, there's terror and there's joy, and I don't know how to feel. You know what it feels like sometimes? It feels like there's a giant asteroid headed towards the Earth, but it's shaped like a penis. Like, I think I'm gonna die, but I know I'm gonna laugh. You just look at everything that he does. The world we now live in because of him. Like, you realize we're living through history. You know, this will never happen in our lifetimes again. We're living through a time when we're all learning about the presidency at the same time as the president. That's never happened. How wild is that concept? You wake up every day reading the news, and you're like, wow, I didn't know that. And somewhere at that exact same moment, he's reading the same news going, wow, me too. And nobody knows where it's going to lead. Nobody knows what he's going to do. All we know is that he wants his wall. He wants his wall. Donald Trump wants his wall. He needs $25 billion the last time he asked. He needs it from American taxpayers because Mexico is smart. That fell apart real quick. I remember how confident he was at the rallies, people cheering for him. He was like, folks, we're going to build. Oh, wall, folks. Who's gonna pay? Mexico. And Mexico was like, we ain't paying for shit, man. We might build it, but we're not gonna pay for it, man. And I don't know if you've been following the journey of the wall, but it's probably the best comedy on TV, right? Because now they've started building prototypes of the wall at the border, right? Because Donald Trump said he wants them to test the wall first. I don't know how you do that. And I was like, try again. And because this is the prototypes, Donald Trump now has specifications for the wall. He now says he wants the wall to be made out of concrete, but he also needs the wall to be see-through, right? And the reason the president wants the wall to be see-through is because he said he's afraid that drug dealers from Mexico are going to shoot bags of drugs over the wall and it's going to hit Americans on the head as they walk by. So he needs the wall to be see-through so that Americans can see the drugs coming and catch it. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what a see-through wall is, but at this point, I'm just worried that a contractor's gonna come along and trick the president. He's gonna take him to the border and be like, there it is, Mr. Trump, your invisible wall. And then just to make sure he buys it, he's gonna hire a troupe of Mexican mimes just to be like, oh my God, you can't get through it. It works. Like the mind of Donald Trump. Oh, the other idea he had for the wall was he said America should build the wall out of solar panels. That's what he said. He said America should build the wall out of solar panels because that way the wall would generate electricity and pay for itself. Yeah. Now, I'm not gonna lie, that's a good idea, right? It's a good idea. Unless you know anything about solar panels or the sun or walls. Because the problem with that idea is that the sun is up, yeah? We all agree on that? We're still on the same page there, yeah? The sun is up, right? A solar panel wall is not gonna work because a wall is like this. So technically it's facing down. So unless you have like a really swaggy sun that's like, yeah, I shine real low, B, it's not gonna work for you. The only way it works is if you take your border solar panel and lean it at an angle to get the sun's rays. But if you do that, now you've just created a giant ramp for Mexicans to shoot into America. It's like, órale! The mind of Donald J. Trump. The J stands for Jesus. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of self-loathing going on there.
Sorry, I know this is weird. This is my tea. I know it looks like a magic lamp, but it's not. It's my tea. I have to drink this as much as possible. So, it's true. This is sort of like my medicine. I have to drink it. Why? Because I lost my voice. But it wasn't like weekend lose your voice. It wasn't like, oh, what a great party, I lost the voice. No. Voice totally gone. What happened was, I was doing shows in New York, right? A whole lot of performances. And then one day, in the middle of a show, my voice disappeared. Out of nowhere. I was talking, and then, it's gone. Now, at first I thought, okay, it's just a small thing. It's a small thing. It'll go away. But it didn't. It got worse every day. Every day, my voice got worse and worse. Finally, I ended in New York. I was coming back to South Africa through London. So while I was in London, I met a doctor there. Horrible doctor. Because his advice was, maybe you should just keep quiet, Trevor. Yeah? Maybe you should keep quiet. Keep quiet for a few days. And thereafter, what we should do is speak in a confidential voice. Yes? Speak in a confidential voice. That's what he told me to do, speak in a confidential voice. A confidential voice is basically you speaking very softly, very hum. So basically everywhere you go, you talk like this. You know what I mean? This is what you've got to do. Basically like white people in the office, you just got to find the guys. You're not gonna, what's that? No, nothing, we good. Yeah, see you guys at the bra. Don't want those guys. That's a confidential voice. Now the problem with a confidential voice is that you have to lean in when you speak to people, right? And then two things happen. One, I don't know why, but if you speak softly or if you whisper, people will whisper back to you. I don't know why this happens. I went into a shop. I was trying to buy a computer. This guy comes and says, hey, sir, how you doing? You good, man? Are you good? It's like, yes, I just need to buy some computers, please. You looking at some of those laptops over there? I said, yeah, just some of the MacBooks. Said, yeah, well, over here we got a great range of computers. And
What are you doing? Why are you whispering? I'm not whispering. I don't know what you mean. You whispering? Why? It's like I'm injured and now you're limping. What the hell is going on here? The second weird thing that happened was because I was speaking like this, some people thought I was trying to have sex with them. Yeah, it was weird for me at first, and then I realized this actually was happening. The worst incident was when I was visiting friends of mine in Ennerdale, right? And I went to the Chicken Licken with my boys. We're hanging out. It's a normal day. We're just getting food, you know? We walk up to the counter, the woman's there, she's like, welcome to Chicken Licken, sir. Can I take your order, please? I said, oh, hi. I would like 4 pieces of chicken, please. She's like, you want some chicken? I'm gonna give you the breasts and the thighs. Now she's chasing me down the street. Do you know how scared I was? Running away, holding my chicken, screaming for help in a confidential voice. Help me, help me, help me. So this clearly didn't help. I come back to South Africa and I meet a doctor here, a voice doctor, who happens to be one of the best in the world. And he does an exam on my voice, finds exactly what I have, hemorrhagic polyp, and he says we have to go in for surgery, which stresses me out. I go, what? We've got to go in for the surgery? He says, yeah, Trevor, that's not helping. Just stop doing that. So what do you mean? The doctor says, I don't want to have sex with you, so please stop doing that. So we're going in for surgery. Surgery. You know, surgery? How scared I was now? Surgery. Was stress. The worst thing about the surgery was the process around the surgery. I wasn't allowed to speak for the week before the surgery. And then after surgery, completely silent for 1 month. Right? Yeah, 1 month. No speaking, no whispering, no humming, no coughing or even sneezing. Nothing. You make no sound, otherwise you'll damage the voice after surgery. Yeah. Which seems easy for the first few days, because you think it's fun. You're like, oh, I'll just keep quiet. I'll just be a mime. Then it gets boring, and then it gets difficult. Because then you start meeting people that know you and they want to have conversations. Fans in the streets, friendly people, you know. White people were the best to meet, I won't lie. Because white people are just like, they're impatient. I like that, you know. Yeah, white people have no time for anything. I've seen this. White people don't like to wait. They're always in a hurry, always something to do. They just come up to me, they're like, hey, Trevor Noah, right? The comedian. Oh, what, you're not talking? Oh, no voice. All right, cheers, eh? Bye. Gone. Out of my life, no stress. I loved it. I loved it. It's great for me. Not so great for white people, though. That's why they pay so much in traffic fines. Yes. No, it's true. If you guys were just more patient, you wouldn't pay half as much, eh? Yeah. Because black people hardly pay anything. Hardly anything at all. Black people get to the traffic thing. You just relax the situation. That's what you do. You just relax everything. You just get there. You know, guy will come to your window. Baba, outkogang seat belt. And you're like, seat belt. Yeah, no seat belt. Eish, seat belt. Yeah, let's license one. License. Hey, ndoda, let's license wena. Mfethu license. Seat belt, license. Mfethu license, seat belt. Hey wena, mfethu license. Eish, hamba ke, hamba. Just relax it. I've seen white people at roadblocks. They have no patience. They get angrier at the metro cop. They get so angry, it's like he did something wrong. You see them. They get stopped there, so they say, hey, you were speeding. Oh, bloody hell, man, you guys are everywhere. Nobody can drive anymore in this place, man. Yes, like you guys, every bush, I don't know if it's a bush or a metro cop. What the hell is going on here, man? Yes, like you guys, bloody hell. They should start calling you the flora and fauna police, man. What the hell? Guys in the bloody boat. What are you going to do? Are you going to give me a ticket or something? No, I was just saying, yeah, bloody hell. I mean, just give me the bloody ticket. Just give it to, okay, you want the ticket? I'll give you a ticket. No, give me the damn ticket. Yeah, just give me the bloody ticket. Yeah, I'm going to, and your indicator's not working. 5,000. Just bring it down. Just relax. Just be a bit patient. White people have no patience. None. The complete opposite end of the spectrum, and the people I dreaded meeting when I had no voice, was Indians. No. Indians are the worst human beings you will ever meet if you're trying to have short conversations. Because I don't know what it is about Indians, but they're the most inquisitive people you will ever come across in your life.
Question after question after question after. It's just like a thing in their culture. They've just got to ask questions. Questions, 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 questions. That's why there's no Indian GPS. You wouldn't get anywhere. You would not get anywhere. You'd be fighting with your car. Take me to Woolworths, please. Why you want to go to Woolworths here, boss? Just take me to Woolworths, damn it. Questions and questions. I met a group of Indian guys one day. It was a Saturday morning. These guys see me. They're very cool, you know. The guy's like, hey, Trevor Noah. Trevor Noah. Hey, what kind, brah? How you doing, man? Check this out, Fazil. Hey, Fazil, you know this out, brah? Yeah, the comedian there. Hey, this out. We got all your DVDs there, Trevor. Yeah, we bought them at Fordsburg, man. Hey, man. Hey, brah, you tops, man. You tops, brah. Hey, you killing the charros there, man. Killing us there, brah. When you doing another show, man? What? You're not talking now? You lost your voice. What happened?
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to my channel so you can win cool prizes. And by prizes, I mean surprise. There's no prizes. It's a free YouTube video, you greedy. Just click the video, man. Why you want free things on free things?
It's so weird to see how prejudices, you know, the way people are labeled in the media, you know, in society. And it's not just Muslim people. You see it with black people as well. People saying these things like, you know, I remember when the riots were happening in Baltimore, people quickly jumped, these thugs, these are a bunch of thugs running around, these thugs. You know, I'm starting to think black people like crime. That's what I'm starting to think. Is that the only way they can deal with it? Black people like crime. No, no. Black people don't like crime. Because you know who's not a criminal? Most black people. Yeah, most black people are not criminals. Black people hate crime just like everybody else. It's not like black people are cheering crime on. It's not like they're watching a black guy do some shit like, yeah, Darnell, you steal that shit, man. You steal that shit. Yeah, no. When black people see a black person doing a crime, they also looking at the person like, that nigga crazy. You've got to fight the act, not the face. Not a face that you put to, it's not the same thing. And everybody has it, you know. If you're a Middle Eastern and you do something, if you're a black person gets shot in a bad neighborhood, the first story they always lead with the same thing. And today in Compton, a man was shot in what is suspected to be gang-related violence. It's always gang-related violence. They never say it's anything else. Never just two guys, gang-related, probably gang-related. Why do you say that? Well, because, you know, in this area, there's hip-hop. Why is it gang-related? It's always it doesn't matter who it is. Could be two kids. Someone got shot. A 3-year-old was shot today by a 4-year-old in what is suspected to be gang-related violence. But they're kids. Yeah, they recruit very young. Wasn't a mistake? No, it's not a mistake. It's never a mistake. But if it's in a rich neighborhood, the story changes. Because you'll never hear them reporting the same thing about the Hamptons. And today in the Hamptons, a man was shot in what is suspected to be gang-related violence. The Burberry gang has been known to operate around these parts. And recently, they never say those things. In fact, you're more likely to see the police commissioner going, we've just conducted an investigation. We found out that a firearm was discharged earlier today, and a bullet left the weapon, penetrating a victim, and we're going to investigate whether it was misfired or I'm sorry. Did you say did someone shoot the gun? Well, we're not ruling anything out right now, but we're checking to see if there was a mechanism failure or what about the person? Well, we don't think that this was intentional. We don't. So wait, we live in a world where you'll investigate a gun before you investigate a rich white man? Is that what you're saying? No. That's not what we're saying. But I mean, you must remember the gun is black. But that's not the point. The point is, it's so weird how our prejudices have given everyone their lane. Middle Eastern does something, they're a terrorist. Black person does something, they're gang-related, they're a thug. But if a white guy walks into a church killing 9 people dead, what do they lead with on the news? And today, in an isolated incident, a lone gunman walked into a church, opening fire and killing 9 people. It's always a lone gunman. Yeah, a lone gunman with no ties to society whatsoever. They always separate him as quickly as possible. I love how they do that. He kept to himself and was notoriously unfriendly. He had no friends whatsoever. No friends, really? No friends? Not even one? Not even one? No friends? Like, not even on Facebook? No, everyone has friends on Facebook. Come on, you tell me the guy had no friends. It's almost like as the shooting happens, everyone's like, what? Dylan? Unfriend, 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 unfriend.
I just got back from Atlanta. It was 107 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, hottest weather. The worst thing is everyone comes up to me and they go, well, you must be used to this being from Africa. And no, I'm not. I'm from Africa, but that shit is hot. That was just, no. I was scared to go jogging because I thought if I ran out in the streets and fainted, wouldn't the local news love that? I'd be running and I'd fall down in the heat. They would have their vans reporting live. They'd be standing there going, so hot in Atlanta, even Africans are fainting. So I'm enjoying this. Really happy to be here, you know. This is going to be good for us, I hope. I say I hope because I never know with stand-up comedy. It's just, you know, it's an awkward experience, I find. I'm always nervous. I find comedy is very similar to sex for me. Well, it's exactly like sex when you think about it. With me, the comedian, playing the role of the man, and you, the audience, the role of the woman. Because it's my job to satisfy you. And you just have to sit there. And then, just like sex, my success or failure will somehow be determined by how much noise you make during my performance. Which makes it a one-sided affair, I feel, you know? Yeah, I mean, maybe you're the quiet type. I hope we have magic tonight. I hope we create something wonderful. I mean, for many of us, it's our first time together, and that means it might be awkward. I understand this. And if that's the case, I want you to know that I'll look into your eyes, I'll see that I'm freaking you out, and I'll stop. I'll stop, and I'll flip you back over, and we'll go back to the simple stuff. Okay? I've been in America for a few months now, and I'm really just thrown by the place. It's not what I expected at all. Different from the brochures and the pamphlets. There's many assumptions I had about America before I came here, and I've come to learn that those were wrong. For one, I just assumed people spoke English here. It's far from it. It's not, you know what, it's not so much the language, so much as the pronunciation of words that throws me off. It's just what Americans have done with the language. You guys have just, wow, you've done something. You've put 22s on the English language. You've got rims that just pimp my language. That's what you've gone with, you know? I don't understand. I was chatting to this woman downtown the other day. She came up to me and she wanted me to see something. I don't know what, though. She was like, oh my God, look over there. I said, look over what? She's like, over there. Look at that her. And I said, her? She's like, no, her. There's two of them? I understand nothing, even the small words, just the pronunciation, you know, small things that get you by. For instance, I pronounce the opposites of uncle as aunt. I say my aunt. Out here, you say my aunt, which to me is an insect, which made me look like an ass when my friend told me his aunt died. And I was like, so what? There's tons of those out there. What a great way to end a friendship. I couldn't get help the other day when searching for a battery for my remote control, because that's what I say, battery, a small form of power. Yes, in America, you say battery, which to me is a different form of power. Sponsored by Chris Brown. And you know what, I understand. We live on different sides of the globe, so it's fine. The language will evolve. This is something I've come to understand. But I hope I change one thing in your hearts forever. Just one thing. And that is that animal in the wild that looks like a horse. It has black and white stripes. Yeah, do me a favor. From now on, please, it's not zebra, okay? It's zebra. Yeah? Just like it's not Debra, it's Deborah. Same structure of word. Plus, you cannot name them because you do not have them. Zebra. This is madness. Everything out here is different. Do you know how hard it is to learn when you come out here? You have to change everything. There's the measurement system, which is just, I mean, America, you guys have your own thing, the imperial system, you know? On my side of the world, we use the metric system, and by my side, I mean the rest of the world, you know? We have the metric system, which is, amongst other things, very efficient. It's a very simple process. You know, everything goes into each other. And out here you have imperial, which is fine. I mean, I won't judge you. If you want to be imaginary, that's up to you. But I just feel like there's some consistency that's needed. Small things. Like, for instance, when we abbreviate our small measurement, milligrams, we use mg, milligrams. Mg, milligrams. And you guys have ounces, which you then abbreviate OZ. There's no Z in the word ounces. I don't know. That's pale in comparison to what you've done with pounds. That, for me, please explain to me how the abbreviation for pounds became LBS. Pounds. I look like the idiot walking into the store going, could I please have the 2 labs bag of sugar? Guy was like, you mean pounds? I said, I don't see the P. No, I don't. He said, well, it means pounds. It's not LBS. A lot of bullshit. That's what it stands for. This is horrible. In fact, it's crazy. You do realize the imperial system is so inefficient that even American drug dealers have switched over to metric. Even drug dealers got to the point where they said, we need some order, we're going with metric. And I honestly thought this was an anomaly. I thought, you know what, this is just one of those things, it's a coincidence, but it's not. Americans do not care about abbreviation nor the English language. They don't give a damn. I learned this in the small things. Like for instance, when I was in Tennessee, I stumbled on an organization known as the Ku Klux Klan. You heard of them? Worst magic show ever. Guy gave me a pamphlet. He was like, come and see the Grand Wizard. Grand Wizard! The Grand Wizard! Didn't do one trick! Not even one trick. I mean, I noticed a few black people disappear, but I mean, that's not magic. You know, that's just Reaganomics. I wasn't impressed by that. Like, where's the magic? I sat there forever. These guys running around in their sheets. Yeah! The KKK, as they're affectionately known. Has nobody bothered to tell them ever that you do not spell clan with a K? Nobody stopped. Even in America, clan is spelt with a C. The Ku Klux Klan, they're the KKC, not the KKK. You realize that? Ku Klux Klan. The C. In fact, the name is wrong. The whole thing, the Ku Klux parts of it. That's just horrible because they got that, as you know, from ancient Greece. It was Ku Klux Alphion, meaning a circle of brothers. And that's how they got their name. They call themselves a Greek circle of brothers, which is wrong for 2 reasons. One, if your sole purpose as an organization is to hate black people, don't you find it strange that you've now named yourself the Circle of Brothers? And secondly, do they realize that in ancient Greece, circles of brothers were doing very different things with one another? Very loving, very, you know, yeah. If they were really a Greek circle, the sheets would be a bit higher up, you know, just more of a, yeah, maybe one more hole. They're not a...
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to my channel so you can win cool prizes. And by prizes, I mean surprise. There's no prizes. It's a free YouTube video, you greedy. Just click the video, man. Why you want free things on free things?